Hi guys, welcome to the flight today as we're in Phoenix. We're leaving from Phoenix Sky Harbour. We're going to do the flight to Telluride, which is going to be a really nice snowy arrival down in the airport today, as we've got the retro American Airlines livery, as there isn't really a real world operations flight for it. It would be for Keyline Airlines, which takes us down to Telluride. So we've got the PMDG 737-800, which is going to take us down there today. And then when we leave from Telluride, we'll be going back to Phoenix. We'll be using the takeoff bump, full performance, as we depart out from runway 27. We're going to be leaving runway 07 left, arriving in for 09 on the Localiser approach into Telluride. So you can see the baggage is now just nearly finishing as we get the aircraft ready for our departure. And we'll go in and get the aircraft ready and set up, then go for our checklist ready to depart. So we've got the Honeywell MCP all in for us today as we go in. So we've got the battery on and guarded, ground power is on. Get the external lights with the chimes and fasten seat belts. Now we can get the one pump in, get the APU fired up, ready for our departure. We'll go overhead, get the irises to nav 1 and 2, test the flaps as per usual, and the flight recorder, which is checked. Voice recorder can go on. We'll get the probes on after we're started up. Get the window heat set. Packs are auto, isolation valves open. Bleeds can go off as we get the APU in. Going to be going for a flight level today of 320. Got the charts as well for us down for Telluride. It's very snowy down there. I've already been down there and had a look, so it is going to be very snowy as we come down. Elevation, which is 9,037, so put it at 9,050. Yeah, there's 9,050, which is set and checked. Got a position light on, which is also set. Get the flight directors on, and we'll set the MCP altitude up for 320. Hey, Spitfire. No, I haven't got the multiplayer on for this one. We'll do something on the weekend with the multiplayer. We'll arrange something. I'll leave it on a community outpost. I hope you're doing well, mate. Yeah, we'll do the multiplayer on the weekend. We'll arrange it for Saturday, and I'll leave a community post for us guys to have a crack at that. And we'll do a fun approach as well, so you guys can follow through with us on that arrival. We could go back to Telluride and see what everybody can do down there. So yeah, let me know. That would be a nice one to do actually. We'll see what we get down today. So let the IRS positions go back. That's going to be the passengers, etc. all done. As we go to our routing, we get the IRS. So we've got Kilo Papa Hotel X-ray, which is going to be for Phoenix. Get it in on the left GPS, punch that through. So Phoenix is in for Telluride. It's Kilo Tango Echo X-ray. Going to be departing on the Marble departure. We're going from 07 left. We're taking the Marble 1 transition for UPA, and on for the routing, as we are just going straight from UPA. It's going to go direct to Echo Lima Tango, which is the cones for Telluride, which should come in. If not, we'll get the approach in. Approaching is going to be for Localiser. There's the ELT transition, so we can activate that through, go over to our legs, punch that direct, and we're going to put a hold in for the ELT as well. So we've got all of our charts here also. So yeah, no, we'll get a multiplayer flight in, mate. We'll do that for the weekend. Anyone that wants to fly along is more than welcome to do so. We'll arrange that and get it all set in, ready for Saturday. So we're going to leave out on the Marble departure, 07 left, so we'll leave out on the 078, which I'll bug as well. Get that down to 25. So once we leave out Sparky, we take a left hand turn to Goalie below 9,000. Then we just follow it all the way up for the transition for UPA, which is right here. So that is our transition, which we can see, and then we go direct to Echo Lima Tango. We have to put a hold in, so then we can come back in on the 095 track, and then that will lead us back down inbound to come in for lovely 09. The arrival here, the localizer, we're going to use the localizer and VNAV. As you can see, only authorized operations may use VNAV to decision height. So we're going to roll down to the Echo Lima Tango, which is the cone's VOR. That's our initial approach fix. We'll go into the hold, hit the 095, come back round at 12,000, descend for 11,005 at hot low, and then at 6.4 DME, VNAV will take us down at 3.62 descent rate, which will be around 900 feet. We're going to basically disconnect literally just 200 feet down, and then we'll fly that visually all the way into runway 09. Missed approach, we'll fly basically back round onto a right hand bend and then track the inbound for the 284 back to Echo Lima Tango. So it's pretty straightforward departure and arrival today, so it's not too hectic. So we'll go request the perf. We're going to be doing 320. We're leaving out around 67 tons or so. Cost index is going to be 7. So we'll load that through. I'm going to go for 320. And for a cost index of 7. Reserves is 2.8. Takeoff, we'll do takeoff 1. Actually, we do takeoff 2. Got to climb 1. On for the departure, flaps 5, 141, 142, and a 147, and 5.34 for the trim. So 147, which is in for V2, plus 20, which would be 167 on the departure. The APU should be ready now to switch over 1 and 2. Get all of our pumps in, yaw damper, electric hydraulics, which can be checked. Get the anti-collision lights as we're going to get ready to go. We'll try and see if GSX will push us back. Now, I'm not too sure if it will. I don't know why, but she keeps asking for the brake, so I'm not really too sure why she's doing that. So, could be a bug, who knows. Auto brakes RTO, auto throttles are arms. As we go overhead now, we're just waiting for catering, I think. So catering are here now, just pumping in the last few bits, and then we can disconnect and go. I think the passengers are all boarded in, so we can get the jetway left. So we go to the doors, we can close the left door, and we'll get the ground service for the jetway, which can go as well. That should disappear. Should do, release ground power as well. So switched over. It doesn't do it from there. We can request it here. Operate the jetways. So it should go at some point. So there's one going. Waiting for number 2. And then we should be all ready and set to leave. So all the passengers are in now. And then once we hit prepare for pushback, the GSX should get the aircraft all ready and set. So let's hope she works. If she doesn't, we just have to reset it and do it from there pretty much. Everything overhead is all in. We're just waiting for the forward service to be released, as we're just waiting for him to go, as he's still there. And then we'll do our pre-start checklist. So we'll get the Q&H's. Telluride's going to be a really nice arrival. It's going to be a rocky one, but it's going to be a nice one today. As I like doing the different approaches. This one's quite a high elevation, as we've got, as we say, 9,050 on the airport's elevation, so it's a high altitude approach. Leaving out, we're going to need the takeoff bump when we depart. As of high elevation, the air's going to be a lot thinner, so we need a lot more performance on departure. Leaving out of a lovely Phoenix. Let's have a look at Phoenix's weather. We got 100 at 6, 10 statute miles, overcast at 6,000, 3002 is the QNH. 3002, which is checked, and we just got to go and put in the top of climb on the performance. So we're going to the perf, which is right here. So let's catch our cruise wind. Cruise wind 432, 278 at 62. That's going to give us minus 45. Okay, so that's all done and checked. Everything's here. We got takeoff 2, climb 1. That's 5, 5.34, and that is all checked. So let's go to our pre-start checklist, tick that all off, and then we're ready to go. Okay, so parking brake set, batteries, guards closed, standby power's on, the APU started with the gen switched over, position lights, get the logo lights on as well as we're coming near to the end of the evening. Emergency exit lights are armed, passenger signs which are on and checked. IRS modes are set, transponder is set to TA, indicated airspeed and initial altitude which is set 147 for V2 plus 2167, 320 set on the MCP altitude. L&V and VNAV can be triggered in for the departure which is checked. Altimeter reference which is 3002, auto brake RTO, comm radios and doors closed. So we're just waiting for this last one now and then we should be ready to go. So there we go, let's get these doors closed and then we'll tell GSX it's time to ride. So I'm not sure why the doors won't shut with why the jet won't relay. But once we tell GSX it should shut it for us, so I'm hoping it does. Or if it's going to do a funny one we'll just depart out. We'll definitely get it all back in once we come out of Telluride. Once we arrive into Telluride it'll be nice because we can set up the GSX there, so that's not a problem. Sometimes it has its moments, so it's just one of them ones. I'm not really too sure why it does that, why it has its funny moments, but it's just one of them. So let's see if we can get this up. If we can't, we'll just push back as normal, as we've got a little bit of a taxi coming out to 7's left today. Okay, so that doesn't want to do what it's got to do. We are cleared to go back, so let's go and get the push back in. Tags are set. Straight out, want the nose to the right. Parking brake is set as well, so we can start that up. Pattern go off.
Go ahead. We've been cleared for pushback and start. They want the tail to our left. Roger that. Ready for pushback. Tail to the left. Release brake, please.
Okay, parking brake released.
Brakes released.
Okay, brake released. Packs are auto, packs are off. Isolation valves are open. The APU bleed is on. Go for ground on number 2. Don't know why the jet lag won't come back. So start valves open. Oh, it finally decides to work now. N2 is increasing. 25% will inject fuel. We'll see EGT start to increase for engine number 2. 56% start to cut out will come back, and as long as everything's stabilised, we can go in for engine number 1. So it's 24, 25%. Engine number 2 coming in. See if GSX will work. No, it might work. Now the out's gone back. I don't know why it acts funny for. To be honest, it will work once we get down in Telluride. EGT now increasing for engine number 2 as we get ready for pushback. Going to basically taxi up, take a left-hand turn, cross back past the gates, and then make a right-hand turn down through Delta, which will take us to 07 left. So there we go, 53, 54, 56%. There's a starter cutout. EGT can now stabilise. It should stop us at any minute. We'll go for engine number 2. Again, start valve is open. N2 is now slowly increasing. All pressure and temps will come to life now as they slowly start to rise. Then 25% will inject the fuel, and that will get engine number 1 started for us.
Pushback complete. Parking brake set.
Now your parking brake is set.
Brake set.
Okay, 25%. We are ready to go for engine number 1.
Alright, steering pin is disconnected. Watch for the slip release. We got.
Hey, EGT now increasing. And engine number 1 now coming to life. Over on the standby instruments, we've got 3002, which is also set and checked. 52, which is set. Back to our legs page, which is fine. Starter cutout, which is also back. We'll get the Pro Peats on now. Going to switch over the gem buses 1 and 2. Packs can go to auto. Isolation valve will go to auto. APU bleed can go off with the APU bleed, with the bleeds of the engines. The APU can go off with the engine start switch is continuous. Cabin crew can be notified, and we'll do our after start checklist. So we get flaps 5 in. Get the centre of gravity in for the takeoff, which is 5.34. Which we'll leave about there, we'll say, is fine for us. LNAV and VNAV is pre-armed. We'll come out and head and select anyway. 400 feet, LNAV will be engaged and we'll be up on our way. So before takeoff checklist, generators 1 and 2 which are on and checked. Probe heats are on, wing anti-ice, it's 9 degrees, we could leave that off for now. Packs are auto, isolation valves are auto with the APU bleed and APU which is off. Engine start switches are continuous, flaps as required, which is number 5. Elevator trim, which is 5.3, which is also set and checked. We'll do the control column check. See if we can get the control column up here, if we can. There we go. So we've got 4 left, 4 right, 4 forward, 4 backwards, rudder left, and rudder right. So that's fine for us. Low display unit can be turned off. Taxi lights and runway turn-off lights as required for taxi. So we are ready for taxi now. So runway turn-off lights will get on, taxis can now go on. Signal cabin, let them know that we are going, and we are ready to leave. So parking brake is released, and we'll power ourselves up now to runway 07 left. Hope you guys are having a great day. Weather isn't very nice today down here in the UK. It's a bit wet and damp. So we're going to see some lovely snow when we come into Telluride, which is going to be absolutely lovely. It's going to be a high mountainous approach when we also come in. So we'll taxi on down, get them all through. We're going to take this left here and we can slide through down for 07. So this will be Sierra that we're going to go down right now. Oops, not that one. Next left. So we're going to take Sierra right now. Got a lovely retro American Airlines today. When we get near to the runway, we'll do our full takeoff checklist, run through that. We've got the Boeing 737 checklist on us, so it should be quite nice. Take a right hand turn once we get down to the end. A bit bumpier. Whoa, Jesus. Oh, that wasn't expected. So we're going to take a right onto Echo now. For some reason it feels like it's thought we'd done in the rudder then. So follow it down Echo. That'll take us down to 07. So we'll try and get down there as soon as possible, so we don't waste any more time. Because we've got some lovely scenery. Clouds look absolutely lovely today. So it's going to be full snow once we arrive into Telluride. So enjoy the arrival as we come in for 09. The localizer, will put the localizer in. VNAV will be engaged. It's only going to be engaged for about 200 feet. And then we're going to disconnect and fly down visually. Hopefully the visibility isn't too bad. It was a little bit, visibility was a little bit on the downside coming in as I did do an approach in, just to see what it was like. And they've only done that Telluride once, and that was in X-Plane 11 with the 747-200. So not an aircraft that you would want to bring down there. So we'll take the 737-800, We'll run it down on auto brake number 3, as auto brake number 3 is quite efficient for the runway today. So we've got the retro American Airlines. It's absolutely beautiful. I prefer the retro one with the solid metal plates. It just gives it that rustic old look. Which is something nice for us. So we'll get our before takeoff checklist. Get that all done before we leave. So before takeoff checklist, we have the parking brake, which will be set, fuel flow reset and rate. Center fuel pumps, which are off, de-ice, which is off, cabin lights as required, flight instruments are checked, takeoff data, which we've got set in, which currently leaves us at 141, 142 and a 1474 V2 plus 20, which is 167. Nav equipment, which is all checked, and then we've got our takeoff clearance, which will be in. We're going to get ready to line up now. 07, here we go. So Echo 3, which is the last on the left. Okay, let's get our strobes on now, nice and early. So cabin crew, take your seats for departure. There we are now, takeoff thrust for takeoff 2, which is 91.3, which is checked. Landing lights can all go on. We do our takeoff checklist, which we've got. Landing lights, strobe lights, taxi lights off, which will get checked. Taxi lights, which can go off now. Transponder TRA, traffic push on and clock. So TRA, traffic, clock, which is pushed on, and we are now ready for departure. So we'll push forward on the column, we'll power on up to 50%. Okay, stabilised. Don't know what's going on there. And toga. Let's read live. Check. Check, throttle hold. So thrust is held now. 100 neutral. Rotate.
V2. Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. So V2 plus 20 is 167. There you go, which you can see on the band. Hey, gears up, no lights. Gear can be turned off. Auto brake can be turned off as well, which is checked. Holding the 167 before we take that left-hand turn. Okay, we'll trim the aircraft out now. There's climb 2, which will come in. Climb 1. And the aircraft will start to accelerate before we get ready to go into that left-hand turn. The left-hand turn is going to take us onto Sparky and in the 349. So just slowly ascending now. Catch some views of Phoenix as we leave. Beautiful. Trim the aircraft down just a little more. Don't want to go down too much. It's only compensating because we're in VNAV mode, so it wants us to speed up. Okay, speed check, flaps 1. Get a bit more trimming. The aircraft's going to pitch down from the loss of drag. 345, which is going to come in now. And so we track now on the heading. 345, which is checked. See we've got mist, etc. all around. Okay, speed check, flaps up. Aircraft's landing quite stable now. Just get a bit more trimming, which is checked. Into that left hand turn onto the 345. We'll now pitch up. I'll get down and take a look as we ride round. .250, which is sat. CMDA can come in. Autopilot's engaged now. Runway turn-off lights can be turned off. Hey, after takeoff, checklist, body rate, climb, gears up and off, auto brake, which is off. I should go back down just so you can see. Auto brake's off, no lights. Gear levers up in the off position, runway turn-off lights are off, and cabin is required. In for the climb out, we've got CMDA, which is engaged. Altimeter will push the standard for 299.2, passing 18,000, and then below 10,000, 250 knots. ATC is required. Hey, hello Tabs. Hope you're doing well, mate. That's fine, pal. Just sit back and enjoy the ride. Sit back and enjoy the ride. So the 349, which is in right now, holding up now, just passing through 10,000 feet. We'll take that onto the 354, then the 005. So there's the 354. As you've got the altitude restraints, 9,000 below until we get to Park. Park, which is just here. Park's right there. So we're going to hold 9,000, so we're going to be in a little bit of mist right now, just as we lead out on the standard instrument departure. Then we're going to rise up to flight level 320. So once we leave Park, the altitude restraints are pretty much clear all the way up to 320. From UPA, we're going to go to Echo Tango Lima, which is the cones VOR for Telluride. I need to put the hold in, so we can do that now whilst we've got some time. As we're not going to go direct and then take a right hand turn, we're going to go straight to the hold, and then we need to hold in so then we can turn around back onto the 095. So we'll switch that hold in right now. Max speed is going to be 225 and at 12,000 feet. So we'll get the hold in. I'm going to put a next hold in, because that's going to be the go around hold, which is in there currently. So we want to be going on to the 095 inbound. It's going to be a left hand turns. Okay, and that's fine for us. 220, target altitude is 13,004, so we can spin it around, so that's fine. And then the hold should be in there once we get to the Echo Lima Tango, so there it is there. And if we go on to plan, we can also see there's our hold. So the blue one is for the go around, but we've got our hold in as well, which is right there. So the aircraft's going to start to climb out now, as just going inbound to Park, just leaving through the clouds as we get through the ceiling. A little bit of rain, as you can see, spreading up the window. As we leave for 9,000 feet now, land lights can be turned off, seatbelt signs, cabin can be released. Engine start switch can be turned off now, as we now fly up through to flight level 320. So there's quite a lot of cloud coverage around Phoenix today. That's 10,000, got up to our climb speed. And we want to say, I'm going to leave the climb and the cruise speeds to Mach decimal 2724. So I'm just going to leave that as it is, and 20 down on the descent. So we'll leave that, let the aircraft run it through from the cost index. Yeah, I've been doing flights offline, mate, just haven't done any live. I've got one flight that I need to edit up that I did on VATSIM. I did it with the A310 with KLM. That was a nice flight. I still need to edit that. I just haven't had much time recently to be doing all of that. As you know me, I like to make sure everything's all done properly. I'm not one to just jump in and mess about. So I've got the iPad here where I can get all of me ASUS and everything for VATSIM. So yeah, we'll do a live flight at some point. I was meant to do one a couple of days ago, but I just didn't have the time to do it. But I've got a VATSIM flight that I need to edit up and post. That was a nice one, that was. So passing through 14,000, 18,000 feet, we go to 29902, switch over the QNH. You see just a little bit of coverage now seeping through. Quite a little bit of wing flex as well. Yeah, when it comes to VATSIM, I like everything to be planned. I like to plan everything out. I don't like it to just be a rush, you know. But I've been doing them offline, so you might catch me on an event. I'll only do the events though when the ATC are all online. I wouldn't just jump into an airport and then they go off and then you got to go over to Unicom. I've been doing the events, so then there's like ATC coverage all about. Did quite a few. We did the Austria one that was up. I think I did a Frankfurt one. We did the Vienna to Innsbruck. That was the one that I put up for you guys. I did a Sofia one as well. I've done a few, but I just like to keep it on the events side, you know. Oh, did ya? What did they say back when you said that you're going to do some aerobatics over Biggin? Okay, 18,000 is coming now. QNH over to standard 29902. There's that top of climb just reaching. That was just brushing through the clouds now. A little bit of a rainbow here as well. That's alright then. So just keep an eye on the traffic. Do your loop to loops, eh? 20,000, 12,000 to go. Top descent's 200 nautical miles. So we're doing a ground to about 400, it's about 30 minutes time is when we're going to start our top of descent into Telluride. And you can't see them inverted. Get on it. Who are ya? Who are ya? Though it's quite choppy. It's been quite choppy over the US. Even yesterday, when we went through to San Francisco, KLX, it's quite bumpy and rocky there. So it's the same here. It's quite choppy. It's not too choppy down in Telluride though. It's quite nice. It's calm. I don't know about visibility. We can have a look at the METARs just quickly and briefly. Telluride's METARs right now, currently as it stands. Winds are calm, 7 statute miles, snow scattered at 2001, broken at 2006, overcast at 4007, -7, dew points -10. So it is going to be a good one. 100% it's going to be a good one. We're looking for around about 900 to 1,000 feet per minute on the descent. So it's going to be go, go, go. It's only 200 feet under. We're going to roll in with the Localiser, and we're going to use VNAV to come down in as it is authorised. We're only going to be in VNAV for like 200 feet. what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the minimums in as well, because it's like 11,000 and the barometer, it takes forever to wind up. So we've got 11.34, only authorised operations may use VNAV decision at altitude. Okay, so we're going to use that 11.340. So we're going to be sitting here holding on to this for quite a while. Well, it's quite cloudy around this part. There we can see the snow just in view, just in that cloud break. Possibly flying over 255. So here comes the snow. It's going to be quite a choppy one today. You can see it without the wings just bouncing around. A little bit of loose air. Oh, lovely views, lovely clouds. Hope you guys all having a great day today, as we're in the lovely retro American Airlines livery, doing our flight here to Telluride. So I'm going to leave the barrow to carry on doing what it's doing. See, we've got quite a little bit of wing flex as we're passing through our flight level 270. So we've got 5,000 to go. Yeah, a little bit choppy now. Hello. It's all snowy now. Snowy, snowy, snowy. It's going to be like that when we come down. Visibility is going to be 50-50, 7 statute miles. Minus 17 currently. Okay, you nearly got the minimum set now for 11.340. Jumpy, jumpy. Okay, 2,000 to go on the minimums. That should be us done then. We won't have to touch that. Yeah, it is nice and cold, isn't it? It's a cold one. Have the anti-ice on when we come in for the arrival. Does look chilly. Okay, so there's the minimums nearly set now. 11,340. There's our left-hand turn, which we're going to take now, which takes us to Yupa. Yupa's 70 nautical miles. Felt like I was holding that forever. So there's 11,340, which is down on the minimums. That's going to give us in on the approach a decision height of 2,303. There's obviously the elevations 9,037. We hit 11,500 with Zagbu, 6.4 DME from the Localiser, and then we start the descent down. 1,000 to go for flight level 320. On the missed approach point, as you can see, climb to 11,800, then climbing right, turn to 13,500 inbound to the Echo Tango Lima, which is the Cones VOR on the radio 104, which for us will be the 284 inbound, and then hold back in. So we're going to hold when we get there, so we can just get the aircraft positioned and ready for the descent down. Lots and lots of cloud coverage today, not really much to see over Phoenix. So it does look cold. Doesn't look very nice out there at all. So there's our top of descent within range. We've got our top of descent, which is 142 nautical miles. So we can go in and get the forecast. I don't think the forecast can be requested as of now. Not too sure. I doesn't know if it works. It didn't work when it first come out, so I'm not sure it will work now. Maybe, maybe not. We'll wait for it and see. So I don't think it does. Yeah, no. So that doesn't work. So it's probably for the data link that it wants. So we'll go and put it all in manually. So for the descent, going to leave 4200. Actually, we don't even need that. We can go for 300, 200, and 100. As the elevation is 9,000. 279 at 26. Then we've got 217 at 10. Then we've got 095 at 7. Okay, that's in. Get the QNH in as well. QNH for Tel Aviv is going to be 29 at 81. So I'll quickly convert that. So 29881, which is 1009. Okay, that's in and checked. So that's all set for us now. We're currently tracking at the 019. And then we'll take our final right hand turn, which takes us to the Echo Tango Lima. So we'll get that punched on board. So 110.2, which is checked, and the localizer, which is 109.3. Okay, which is also checked and set. So that's the aircraft already prepared for the arrival. 026, we're going to track inbound, and we've got the holding 12,000 above for Hodlu. Just make sure that it is 12,000 above, so don't want it to be above and it's too high, so then the aircraft has to go on a rapid descent rate. At 12,000 all above, with terrain 12,004, 11,009, we strip straight down in, so it should be quite easy and nice. We're doing a disconnect probably just about here, and then follow it continuously down Getting in for the approach speeds as well, 5.8 to 6.7, which is going to be 0.9, so 63.9. Going to come in for, do flaps 40, that'll be +5, as the winds are calm, which will give us our 145 coming in on the approach. So for 145, probably about 950 feet per minute. On the descent, minimum's 1134, which we've got set in 1134. That's going to be 2,303 for the 9,037 elevation, which is there 9,070. So we could probably round that off to the nearest 100. There we go. Okay. Let's top of descent, just range around 100 nautical miles now. And now we're also ready to come in. Very cloudy today, not much to see in terms of terrain over our routing. But I'm going to get the flight recorder replay system in so we can actually have a look at that, and then we'll reset it back for when we get ready to depart back to Phoenix. So we will get some cinematics in of lovely Telluride when we come down. I'll make sure to set that up closer to the time. We'll just set it up closer to the time when we get near to Echo Tango Lima for the cones VOR. So apart from all that, the aircraft is pretty much all now configured and set to come in. We're going to be coming in for between stand 9, etc. down on the approach. If we can get that in. See if the menu comes up. It will come up when we land, so we'll get that through. There's 320. Little bits of land popping up left and right. As the sun's going to start getting ready to go down. Okay, the 026 now, which is going to come in, so we'll track that in on the MCP heading. So it's definitely going to be a cold one, at -7 down in Telluride. So that's going to be something. There's our top of descent, just around 80 nautical miles above, ready for us to come down into that horrible weather. But like I say, we'll get the flight recorder system in so we can see the approach, as this is one of the approaches that I do want to see when we come into the airport. It's going to be sitting there on its own. Snow will start coming back over once we come down. It's going to be a lot different than blue skies over the horizon, as we can see now. Top of descent, we'll trigger that back, 12,000. Which is checked. As we leave the Echo Tango Lima VOR, we'll then drop into a flaps 5. We get the rings in as well for our fixes. Okay, which is in, so we see 176 to go and 169 to the VOR. And that is the aircraft now ready and set. We'll pre-arm the Q&H's down below, which currently stand. I don't think they've been updated yet, so they'll stand as current. So QNH 2981. Which is pre-armed. That is us now all ready to go in, so we'll do our before descent checklist. So for the cruise and descent, before top of descent, ATIS information which has been checked. The ATIS is checked for 29887. Radios are all in. We've got the 110.2 for the Echo Tango Lima and the 109.3 for the localizer, which is set and checked. We're going to be coming in off of the localizer, inbound. I think it's the 095, and then we ride through. So the 093. Which will get set on both sides of the MCP panel on the courses. Tomorrow we'll get the Parkway visual. We'll do JFK. We'll do the Parkway visual. That should be quite nice. After that we've got the localizer frequency, which is 093. Which is checked and cross-checked, and the ILS localizer course we're using the localizer, so we've got the 109.3 which is also checked. Once we come into the descent and we'll carry on the rest of the checklist, as the cloud coverage absolutely really high today. So we're going to be coming through it in a matter of minutes. So 22:49. So in 9 minutes time we start our top of descent down into Telluride. Minus 23 right now currently. Cabin crew, get ready for a rough one. So we need to follow around 950 feet per minute on the descent. Once we're visual, then we'll descend down through to the puppies and get that get the airport inside. Auto brake number 3, which we're coming in for. Recall, which is checked and clear. Sensor pumps are off. There's Telluride coming in now on the navigational display. You see all the layers of clouds. They're not very nice at all. I thought it was going to be a lot more views on this flight. If it was over in Europe now, probably would have been a little bit more scenic. I've done so many flights in Europe. It's one of them ones where I thought we'd get something done in the USA. Something nice and different for us all. So we'll check out our speeds, 203, 12,000 above, 220, there's a max on there, then we start the decel all the way down, there's 145, which is our VREV speed, and then we start 3.11 degree descent path, all the way down. I was saying a 3.1, but we're only going to hold that till minimums, and then we start through. So we're literally not too far away now. Telling us that's a 3.62. Which localizer is this? Localizer 9. So it's a 3.6. We're going to come down for 950 feet per minute, around 950 or so. 1134 is set in. We're using the VNAV to come down, and we'll have the localizer in for the guidance. We're only going to be in the VNAV profile for about 200 feet on the descent path, and then we're going to disconnect and fly manually down onto the runway. So I'll get the flight recorder replay system set up when we get just nearer to the hold, or when we're in the hold, and then we can get some lovely views in and watch that aircraft come down through the mountains. (120 nautical miles to Echo Tango Lima). Clouds upon clouds, but no terrain. Okay, top of descent now, just over 40 nautical miles, 35 to go. Then we've got some terrain over here, just breaking through now, but not over on that right side. Winds are going to be quite calm on the approach, so we shouldn't have to worry about that at all. Top of descent's been reprogrammed with the forecast. Then when we get on the ground, we can tell the GSX that we are going to go into stand. We'll either do stand 9, which is right outside the Telluride sign, but for some reason it puts the marshaller up on the roof, so he's been doing a bit of climbing and running around up there, thinking that we're going to be like some 747 coming in. As we get the aircraft now ready, seatbelt signs can go on. See a little bit of snow just over here. Engines are going to throttle back. They probably won't, because we've got decimal 718, so it'll probably stay the same on the speed tape to prepare itself for the top of descent. It may do, it may not. Then 230 for the Echo Tango Lima, slow down to 220. That's going to be the managed speed. 220 and for 136. So we'll see if we can get 120 in. Actually, see if we can get 120. There we go. And then we leave 12,000 for the Echo Tango Lima. Benji, good evening, afternoon, my man. Hope you're doing well, mate. Just in time for the arrival down into snowy Telluride. The speed tape's now de-slowing, so it's going to start slowing down just before we get to the top of the descent to make it in for the descent profile. So yeah, just in time, Benji. Just in time. Ready for a mad approach. The approach is going to be pretty. It's a really nice approach. Go right in between the mountains. We took the 747-200 in X-Plane quite a while ago, so first time coming back into Microsoft, and it looks quite nice down there. there's top of descent. Vertical deviation is going to pop up on the right, and again on the PFD to the right here. We've got our lateral navigation right here on the little pink magenta, and there's our vertical deviation. So we've got lateral deviation, vertical deviation. Once we come in, I want to tell the aircraft to stay between 3/10 of a nautical mile, even though it's only doing just under 1/10. There's top of descent now. The aircraft's now going to start descending into Telluride. Holds in, which is going to be for 12,220. Then we'll drop into a flaps 5 as we leave the Echo Tango Lima, and then get the aircraft into its pattern, ready to come in on the approach. Okay, there's the arm. Engine start switch can go to continuous now, so we're going to start going through the clouds. It's wicked, pal. Hope you're having a good time doing your flying lesson, mate. How's it going? You enjoying it? On for the descent checklist. The de-ice is on for the engine anti-ice, which is checked. Land altitude, which is also checked for 910. Recall, which is checked and clear, and auto brake number 3 as required. I'm the speed brake for now, but might need it, might not. I'm starting to see some of that snowy terrain now, as it's just up ahead. As we can see, it's just up over here. So the snow is coming the closer we get to Telluride. That's good, mate. Glad you're enjoying your flight lesson, pal. Get up into the skies. What's the weather like? So we passed through flight level 293. We've got elevation of terrain at around 12,005 and 11,009 all around us when we come in. Then we just come into that little valley and drop down in. Check to see if the METARs have changed since before when we set them up. So 2981, which is set, which we have checked. Weather forecast is in as well. Yeah, that's it, mate. Blue skies are always better than grey skies. When it's grey, you can't see anything. The weather's not nice. It's dreary, damp. When it's nice blue skies, you know, it's a positive feeling when it's nice and sunny, and you've got the blue skies all around. Definitely agree, mate. I'm glad you're enjoying your flight lesson, pal. Really am. Seven statute miles. Again, snow scattered at 2001, broken at 2006, overcast at 4007. So there will be no go around today. We are going to get her in. We're not going to need to go around. It's not going to be one of them dodgy approaches like we did with that one. Can't even remember what it was called because I've never even done it before. So it's clear here and clear here, but there is the break of snow that we're now going to start entering. So wish me luck. Possibly flight level 260, still tracking on 026 track, got 12,000 set on the MCP. We'll lower that down. Once we go into the hold, we'll lower that down further to 11,340. So I'm going to lower that to 11,200 as we're going to disconnect continuously on the descent. If we didn't have the airport in sight, then we would go around, but we're going to continue this descent down all the way into runway 09. So 25,000, realistically we're only 15,000 away as it's 9,000 and we're stopping at 12,000, so we're about 13,000 feet away from levelling off. Let's see all that lovely snow now start to bombard us. 093 track, horses are all set. Overhead engine anti-ice is on, engine start switch to continuous. Passing 10,000, we're going to get the landing lights etc. on earlier as we are above elevation. When we come out of Telluride, we'll make sure that we're not super heavy, as I'm sure there'll be a weight limitation. We're going to take the takeoff bump, so it'll be the first time sort of using that, as we are on high altitude, so the air is a lot thinner, so the aircraft's going to need a lot more performance. When we come in, we could do a bleeds off takeoff as well, but I'm sure we'll be okay with the takeoff bump. Passing through 240. At 48 nautical miles, the Echo Tango Lima VOR. So coming through your final checks for arrival. Holding over 250. Tiny little bit of terrain here, which will be clear for us as we go in. 12,004, 13,004, and we descend down to 12,000. Hey, 8,000 feet to go. So we hit the hold, just going to spin around the hold, and then we get down for 12,000 at Echo Tango Lima Cones VOR, which is now in 32 nautical miles away. Spin around, come back onto the 093 to intercept the localizer, which will then track in. So once we go into the hold, we'll switch localizers over, and then we'll be ready for the approach in. $7,000 feet to go, or 6. once we get to Echo Tango Lima. Approaching is pretty straightforward. So we hit the Echo Tango Lima, as we say. We're going to left hand turn for the 275, spin back round for the 95, and then dropping the 108 to Hodlow, where we intercept for the localizer. We're coming down on VNAV profile, so localizer course offset by 3 degrees, so it really is the 090, then I should imagine, if it's offset by 3. So it'll be just over to the left of us. Then we descend down at 3.62, it's got 3.11 down on the FMC, but we're going to be disconnected anyway once we come onto the approach. Minimum is 1134, which we've got set and shared. Standard QNH, which is set for 2981 now, passing 16,900 feet. And for the missed approach, we climb to 11,800, and then climb in right turn to 3005 inbound on the Echo Tango Lima VOR. Radial 284 once we track inbound, and then we'll swim back round again if we needed to. Oh yeah, the old American Airlines, it is a nice livery, that's why I thought I'd do it with this instead of the new one. I prefer this one better, you know. It's like the chrome silver. It's absolutely lovely. So we're going to drop into these clouds in a few thousand feet. Got the terrain and everything in our fixes, which are all set and checked. Get the flight recorder replay system in as well. Get that all set up. It'll be a pause for a few seconds, and that will indicate us once it comes back that it's recording. Okay, so for the approach check, it's got the altimeter set for 2981, which is set in cross check, localizer frequency, which is the 109.3, localizer course, which is set for 093 and cross checked on either side, and then from there we'll go below the line and then continue it down. Hey Anakin, good afternoon mate, happy new year to you too pal, hope you had a nice one, just in time for our lovely arrival into Telluride. A little bit bumpy now, see the snow coming in. Okay, speed brakes can now come in. Aircraft's going to start slowing down to 220. Okay, speed brakes can be armed. We'll slow down once we level off. We've only got 1,007 to go till we level. Oh, did you? Yeah, it's a nice approach, isn't it? It is a nice approach. I'm going to use auto brake number 3. Number 3 is going to be efficient for this arrival. Eight nautical miles to go now, passing through 13,000. At least you got 200 on the descent, well done. Okay, 1,000 to go. Recall, which is clear. Okay, we're at the Echo Tango Lima now. Switch over the localizers. Okay, localizer is there. Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be something, mate. 100%. Definitely going to be something. So we'll roll into this hold. 230 on the hold. Then we're going to slow to 220. indeed. Yeah, you're going to slow down. We're going to go to 12,000, then we're going to drop down to 11,005. Then we're going to follow down VNAV with the localizer approach, so we can use VNAV. And at 11,340, that's when we're going to disconnect and continue down. There's 220 now. So go into that left-hand turn. So yeah, it is a hit and miss one. This one, it's nice though. Nice approach. Get it down. Visibility should be all right, as there is a clear patch for us down on the approach. And once we come round, we can disarm the hold. We can arm it. Okay, so once we come round on that left-hand turn, we're then going to continue in on the approach. Lovely views outside. See if we can get a GSX. It will start up. Yeah, it'll probably start when we get on the ground. Something that we did on the ground back down in Phoenix. It just caused it to go a little bit ski whiff. So we're looking around 950 feet on the descent, carrying that left-hand turn around. Once we come track back inbound to the Echo Tango Lima, we'll then start to drop some flaps in and get the aircraft fully prepared. Coming down in VNAV anyway. So speed box is out, the VNAV path is in, 29209 to altitude 145, which is for our approach. Okay, 111, which is in for Hodlu. Nah, it isn't. 737 doesn't go here, it's too big. For key line to Airlines go to this airport, which is a tiny little prop, and the 737 doesn't. But it is today, it is today. It is today. It is today. Yeah, we'll see how you're going to do about that, and as we get her on the ground and get her slowed down and passengers get down to the gate, it's when we take off from here, that's where we're going to need the full performance. That's going to be the fun part. When we arrive here, we're going to use the takeoff bump, which gives us 27k performance on the engines. I'm not going to do the bleeds off procedure. I'm just going to use the takeoff bump, keep the aircraft to a reasonable weight. I'm not going to be over a maximum weight threshold, and then that should clear us out. Nice. We'll do a flaps 10 on departure. But yeah, it is today. It is today. Fun times. Okay, so I'm going to start getting this aircraft fully prepared now to come in, as we're going to leave the hold and exit off the Echo Tango Lima, and then fly down to Hodi, which will take us down to 11,005. Then from 11,005 we go to Hodlo's 11,005 to Zagbu, Zagbu to Sepex. So we have Sepex. Sepex is there, 9,004. We're going to continue all the way down. Once we get to 11,340, we're going to disconnect. No, it's a takeoff bump. It's a 27k. It gives the aircraft an extra 10k performance off the 26k that the engines have max. So it'll give us 27k on departure. Flaps 5 can come in. Set the MCP window down now. and put it down to 11,003. Actually, put it to 11,002 so it can run down past the minimums. Yeah, forget the noise abatement procedures today, we don't follow them. Anyone wants to complain, ring the airport up. Okay, flaps 10 can come in. Localiser can be armed. Okay, flaps 15, get down. So, Tim just check for 2981, which is set in chair. Local course frequency for the 093, offset by 3 degrees, which gives 090, which is also set. Auto brake number 3, flaps 15, which is down, gears down, 3 green. Speed brake, which is armed, green light. And we are ready to start the descent. I'm going to come all the way down to our 145, which is going to be for flaps 40. So VREF 40 plus 5, which is our 145. So flaps 30, which can come in. And flaps 40. Cinderella, hello pal. Hope you're doing well today. Okay, so Localiser's alive now. Down through 11,000. There's a runway right there. Somewhere around there anyway. There's a runway right there looking at us. So we are all prepared and checked. For the actual landing checklist, gears down 3 green, flaps 40 green light, auto brake set for number 3. Landing lights, runway turn off lights, which can go on as well. In the cabin, final call, engine start switch continuous. The runway sits right there. There's the runway sloped. Looks like a quaver. So let's get ready to bring her in, shall we? Throttles out the ready. Yeah, it's right there. It's offset by about 3 degrees, so it's in front of us, but the runway's sitting at a sort of right slope. Yeah, I was just thinking that actually, though, just before we zoomed in, I was thinking, where actually is it? Because when I did this with mist, we was going through a bit of mist when we broke through, and then there it was right in. So there's our minimums right there. When we leave Zanzu, we're then going to run 200 feet down off of VNAV, and then get the aircraft in. Strap in, yeah, strap in. One final call. Okay, there's a descent now coming in. Let's get ready to disconnect.
Approaching decision height. Minimums.
Continue. And I have control of the aircraft. Okay, 145, coming down for around 1,000 feet. We're offset by 3 degrees as well, so we'll try and maintain our speed and not get too low on profile. There we are, visual. Wait till we get a bit closer, get the puppies in, try not to go too low. I can see the puppies now. I think they're at 2 red, 2 white. I can lift up just a little. A little bit of a tailwind. Okay, we've got the puppies on now. Let's continue that descent down. There's one red. Two red, two white.
500, 400, 130, 20, 10.
Okay, speed brakes are up. And reversers are active. Full pressure on the column. Decel. Okay, manual braking as well, just over in. Plus can be restored. And manual braking. Okay, there we are. Down in Telluride. Oh, wicked pal. Down to Mexico City. Yeah, flying non-stop to Los Angeles to Bogota. Wicked. Thanks guys. Hope you enjoyed that arrival. Got down right on the touchdown as well. Yeah, it was a little close. Probably could have done max auto brake. When I did it with max, when I did it with auto brake number 3 to earlier on, it was quite stable. But today, could have done max, I suppose. Maybe. Passengers had a little bit of a rough one. I remember when I came into Turkey, they must have slammed the brakes on when we hit down into Istanbul. Like literally sharpest braking I've ever felt on any aircraft. Speed brakes can be retracted. Flaps can be fully set back. As we now get ourselves ready to go into stand. Runway turn off lights, landing lights. Everything can go off 1 minute after landing. Get the APU on. I've got the balls of steel, mate. Give me any approach that's within reason, and I'll take you there, alright? 100%, I'll take you there, I'll give it a shot. I'm confident. So I don't think the GSX is going to work, God knows why, but we'll get it all in. So let's rearrange the aircraft back. Terrains can now go off, speeds can go back to 100. Chart checked. Courses, get localizers off. Chart checked. And we'll come right here at the Telluride front door. Yeah, it's an evil laugh, isn't it? If them passengers heard that before we came in, they'll think this guy's going to kill us. Okay, so there's the turn for us. We can check it out as well. We've got the flight recorder replay system in, so I'm going to have a look at that. You guys can have a look at that before we go back to Phoenix. Okay, welcome to Telluride. Regional airport, exactly a regional. Not where we should be right now. Poke our nose through the door, hello, hello, hello. Okay, so parking brake can be set. Overhead now, switch over the gens 1 and 2, which are all checked. Let's get the engines off, 1 and 2, which are also checked. Packs, isolation wheel can be open. Everything else can be set and checked. We leave the window heats off. They can stay there. Anti-collision lights, which can go off as well. Taxis, everything else, which should be all sane and good for us today. So there's the engines now gone. We'll go in, get the grounding, get the GPU cart. Chops can be set. We'll get the doors as well. So I want the stairs. Request stairs left 1. Ground power external. That should switch us over. And there's us already. So just give it that 1 minute. And then we'll set up the flight recorder replay system and have a look exactly how that was. Arrivals held. Let's have a look. And there's a door opening now. Yeah, welcome to Area 51. Okay, so I'm just waiting for this ground power to come. So the power connecting, good. Wait for the yellow and blue light. There we go, that's over. APU could be turned off now. Run off with the ground power for now until we turn around. So let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this arrival, shall we? So we'll load it up. And time to cover 15:30. Okay. So let's check it out. Just loading it up to the area that we was at. You can have a little look outside and see what that approach was saying. Which side should we go from? Should we go from the right? Let's go from, which side should we go from? Should we go from that side? Or should we go from that side? Which side should we go from? The left or the right? To show the approaching. Should we show the left or the right? Let's see what the left's saying. We're coming from this side. We're still flying by the looks of it. There we go, let's get it on the ground first. There we go. Okay. So the chocks are there because we've put them on. I think it's the ground power as well, which is there too, because obviously we're at the gate. But we will have a look at this this unique little arrival and see what it's saying for us. Let's have a little look, shall we? Yeah, a bit closer actually. There we go, put it back there. So here she comes, the old retro girl. Let's see what she did. It's because the runway slopes down, you see, it goes down like a U. Nice. Wasn't a bad landing. That was quite nice. Okay, so that's something to do with the replay system, but that was the arrival. I think to get us back, I'm gonna have to stop that a minute. I don't know what's gonna happen with the aeroplane. I think it's gonna take us back. I think it stopped us right there. I think. Not too sure. Is it? This is why I don't use the flight recorder system when I don't use it for the first flight. I usually use it for the second flight, because that way it doesn't just don't mess things up. But that was the arrival down into a lovely little Telluride. We'll see if it will go back, get us back to the gate. So there we go, there's the arrival, put us back to the stand. Right, if I disconnect that, that should put us back in. Yeah. What's going on there? That's the ground power gone, that is. Yeah, so that's what happens really if you do the flight recorder system whilst the aircraft's in its first phase of flight. That's why I usually do it at the end, so there isn't really no confusion or anything. So just let the ground power come in. That'll erase everything off. There we go, it's all back. The IRS is still there. Keep the yaw dampers on. with the fuel. All the fuel can come off as well. I'll leave the one in for the APU. And that was the flight to Telluride. So I hope you guys did enjoy that, as it was a nice flight. That was. I think the flaps have got to come up as well. I don't know why they're still sitting down. It's because of the flight recorder system. We'll get them up in a minute once we get the aircraft ready to go. And it says GPS file. I'm not going to worry about that today. So dual FMC is restored. So give me a few minutes and we will get ready for our return flight back to lovely Phoenix, as the sun's going to start to set. It's the time now, 16:23. By the time we come back, it'll be just getting ready to get dark. So give me a few minutes, turn around, and then get the aircraft fully set to come back in. Okay, so let's get this aircraft ready and configured for our arrival into Phoenix. Just getting the sim brief plan loaded up, got to get rid of the old one and then upload it with the new one, which I'll do here on this sim brief and navigraph here that you can see as well. Just getting the new flight plan up on the iPad, which is going to be right here. We're coming in for 08 approach, so if we have a look, we've got the Eagle 8 transition at Goop. So the Eagle 8 transition for Goop. Let's just have a look. So I've got the ILS Runway 08 at route. Oops. Let's change that. So it turns runway 8, but we'll say ILS 25 left. Straight down to final. And that should be good for us there. Just check the chart. You want to see this departure when we come out. So fix is the initial approach fix when we come in. And from fixer, we go to Gypsy. Okay, so let's get the next part of this flight underway. I'm going to load her up so she's not super heavy. We're going to need all the performance we can get when we come out. So the positioning, that shouldn't need to be done because we've already got that done. So we've got Kilo Tango Echo X-Ray on for our routing. It should be there. Then we've got Kilo Papa Hotel X-Ray for Phoenix. On for the departure, we're leaving out runway 09. Before I do that quickly, I'm going to go and do our payload. Check that before we leave, which would be a good idea. So for the payload, 172, we'll just leave that there, which is fine. On for the fuel, I'm going to change the payload in a second. I'm going to go for 7.5. And on for the payload, I'm going to take 100 passengers, 500 cargo, and 500 cargo. That should give us a nice quick, so 5 can go in business class on 59.8, so we can be nice and light coming out, otherwise we're not going to get out today. So on the departure, leaving out runway 09. On for the route, and we're going to go direct to the Echo Tango Lima VOR, which will get set and checked for the 109.3 or 110.2. So that will pop up once we get ready to depart. From there, we're going to be going direct to Echo Tango Lima. Then from there to Goop, which will be the next VOR. And then on for the arrival, we've got the Eagle 6. There is the Eagle 6 for 08 with 25 left. Transition for Goop. ILS 25 left, which is fine, leave that there. Activate that up. Sort that all out on our way. Hit the Perth. Request a new Perth. Going to be doing the takeoff bump. We're going to need the anti-ice on, because obviously it's -7. We're not going to bother doing a bleeds takeoff. We could do a bleeds takeoff, I suppose. Okay. With the uplink, cost index 7. Go for a flight level 350 today, if we can. I think the sim just froze. Not too sure. If the sim froze, what I'll do is I'll reset the sim back into Telluride. We'll just reset it back up. So we'll call this the Phoenix to Telluride. I'll reset the flight back up so we can go. Sometimes when you click the FMC too much, it causes a freeze for some reason, which I'm not too sure why it does that. But come back in a few minutes time. I'll reset the flight and it will be for Telluride back to Phoenix. So stay tuned.